next question I'll direct to Piers. What are some of the biggest challenges and roadblocks in helping cities and customers adopt digital transformation with IoT?
Yes, I think there's a couple of things. I think one of the things is what our colleague Valley alluded to, and this is the idea about first defining a platform strategy and a framework and getting those clear patterns of usage. So I think what happens is very often it's easy to go in with the quick win POC and try to prove out a thing without having that full platform thought out and getting those patterns well defined up front. So when I speak about the work that we did at MBRC, what I mentioned up front is one of the very first things we helped that organization do with was define an IoT platform strategy. And that strategy said, let's land that data in the Azure cloud, and which services in the Azure cloud do we need to lighten up in what way to allow us to do that. So that platform was there ready to go, so that when it came to selecting device specific and solution specific options, we knew that there was a pattern and a model that we needed to follow. I think the next thing is about what we see with some of those challenges is making sure that those IT use cases link to strategic drivers to get to the appropriate funding. So one of the challenges that you have with trying to get funding is if you come up with an IT use case, which on paper sounds fantastic, it's really important to one person, but the organization or the council strategic drivers don't necessarily align. So one of the ways to get funding to be funneled into IT projects is to pick projects that directly hit the top 5 strategic goals or 4 goals or whatever they may be, because then you can tap into funding for those specific streams. And I guess the last thing on this may be something that says, which we found probably the biggest challenge with IoT adoption, is you've got a great platform, you've got some great project use cases, everyone forgets about BAU. So one of the things about IoT, we are actually talking about new technology and new devices and new things that IT or OT actually need to be involved in operating. How do you make sure you design an operating model for that set of projects once they get out of that cool project mode into the operating model to make sure that you can actually deliver value out of them? And many projects, I feel, get to the end of POC, and even though they've proven their value, because there was no thought about how a BAU or business as usual is done, how we do the ops, very often they get stalled, behind this long blocking wall. So you got to start the thinking about educating those resources and potentially retraining some existing skills into that BAU mode.